New
Yeah.
York Knicks.
Yeah.
They had a pretty. At first, it was kind of confusing free agency, but I think I've kind of like softened up to it. This is your team. Would you like to start off with your New York Knicks and your thoughts on them?
I don't know. Like Kemba Walker's a great signing. I love that. They needed a playmaking guard because they literally didn't have one. No offense to Rose, but he was their best guard, and like no one after that was even close to as good, like best point guard. And so I like that they got Kemba. He's a good playmaker. He's gonna be. I don't want to say that he's the number one option on this team, but he's at least a 1B. Like we all saw the shortcomings of Julius Randle in the playoffs, and I think that they kind of just he was really good at making tough shots all year, and then he didn't make tough shots, and the offense really struggled. And I think Kemba Walker is now someone who can help Randall take better shots because there'll be more floor spacing and all that stuff, but also can make his own shot. Like Kemba Walker probably isn't going to play any back to backs, but he's going to be consistent enough to be good. And I think I really like that. Evan Fournier is just another guard who can score. And you kind of saw that in the Olympics and even with the Magic, like when he's given the ball and he has the ball in his hands, he's a great shooter, he's a great creator, he's just a really good guard. Well, two guard. And I think those moves are good. And then keeping Rose and Burks and Noel, the whole idea of your top 8 needs to be good. I think the Knicks could go 10 deep and I'd be fine. Cuz you go Rose, Quickly, Burks, Obi and Noel and I'm happy. And then you even have like Grimes, Knox, Gibson as like your 13 what 11 through 13, like I'm fine with that. So, well, they can go like 12 deep and it's pretty good. Kevin Knox. Kevin Knox isn't good, but if Kevin Knox is your 12th man on your bench, you're happy.
What is y'all doing with Frank Ntilikina? y'all
I
not
think he's gone,
y'all,
bro.
y'all
I think
saying he's
they
done.
I don't think they offered him a qualifying offer.
You know what? You can't really blame the Knicks in that draft because it was
You
either
can't.
I don't think so because it was either between at their spot like Frank Dennis Smith Jr., Malik Monk. I mean, you had Donovan Mitchell, but was this scouting really strong for him at that time? It started to pick up like near draft,
Donovan
but
Mitchell was weird. His
yeah, he
draft
had a
year
weird
was weird.
scouting. He was a weird scouted player.
Yeah.
I can't blame the Knicks in that draft no more. but uh, but
I
they
don't know.
yeah. But I do like their free agency. They signed back Nerlens Noel, Alec Burks, Derrick Rose. They let go of Reggie Bullock. He went to the Mavericks. Uh, 3 years, 30 mil still seems like too much for him, but
I still can't believe that.
I'm not going to get into that with this team because I'm already frustrated with them. But, you know, the Knicks basically said, let's run it back with what we got.
Yeah.
We got a good core. You upgrade getting Evan Fournier, who's could score from three, from mid range, also at the rim. He's a shot creator. Um, Playmaking is decent, best suited as a secondary playmaker. The defense is average. Tibbs usually gets the best out of his players,
Yeah.
so on the defensive end, so that's really not too much of a worry. And you get Kemba Walker for like how much now? Like it's
It's
not
like
even a
8.
lot. Yeah,
It's
it's
8 mil. Yeah.
like 1 year, 8 million. He gets to come home and play for his hometown team. I think he's from the Bronx actually though. But
I mean, it's New
I'm gonna let
York.
it rock. Yeah, it's New York still. So he comes to play for his hometown team. How fun is that? You get Kemba Walker and you don't even have to pay him big time money. That's fun.
That's
And
good.
Kemba Walker is not like this great defender. He's more like he's a miniature guard. He's gonna draw charges. He's gonna give some effort, but mostly because he's a smaller guard and kind of frail as a guard, it kind of hurts him. But he gives you additional shot creation. Big
Yeah.
plus. So it doesn't always have to be, tail end Derrick Rose and Julius Randle creating all the shots, which they struggled heavily with in the playoffs. So this Knicks team upgraded tremendously. I
Yeah.
think I was kind of confused because I wasn't so certain about the backcourt defense, but looking at it, Tibbs is pretty damn good coach, and he's gonna get his players to play their hearts out. Like he was getting some good minutes out of Nate Robinson. 5'9", 5'8", Nate Robinson back in Chicago. Like I
So
hope so. I'm more confident about this next team this go around, but also it depends on, Kemba Walker and if he's healthy and all that. But they
yeah,
got a really good squad going here.
I was gonna say that the defense doesn't bother me as much because of Mitchell
Hmm.
Robinson and Noel, like
Yeah.
because they're such good defenders that they they're like sweepers. Like if like Kemba decides not to play defense for a little bit and someone drives past them, I'm very confident that Noel and Mitchell Robinson, who are like two of the best shot blockers in the NBA based off blocking averages, are gonna do their job. Like that's what they're there for. So they can cover for all the weaknesses that the guard defense doesn't have. And I think that's really good. The issue is going to be like perimeter players, like people who
Yeah,
can hit you in the just guards who can beat you in the mid range and three, and that'll be the 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 weakness of that backcourt on defense. But I think one thing that you said that I was trying to talk about was that last year their point guard was Julius Randle, pretty much. Like he initiated the offense, and now he's the third option on that. And I think that's good. Like that's no
not the
knock on
third
Julius Randle.
option though. He's
I'm
still the
saying
first option.
as a ball handler, he is now the third option ball handler. You have Evan Fournier and Kemba over him
So
for sure.
weird worded weirdly.
What do you mean?
I mean, he does sacrifice ball handling duties, but okay, I understand what you mean.
Like
But
Julius Randle was bringing the ball up the court a lot last year. I
yeah,
don't think he's going to be doing that anymore. And I think that's really good because now he can just get to his spots and work. And Evan Fournier and Kemba Walker can get the ball to him in those spots where he's a little more open because he doesn't have to dribble to those spots.